All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Coffee with Coach. I like the theme kind of sticking around here. Of course, the last time we did this with the assistant coaches, Carlos and Joe, you guys went to Alabama Huntsville and took a big 6 points down there. So I guess we got to kind of keep the theme rolling. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're still searching for sponsors right now for this part of the segment, I'm just glad I got the invite back after we got 6 points down in Huntsville, and guys played well. So I'm just happy that I didn't get kicked off the show.
Oh well, you can't really kick off the head coach. That would kind of be against the rules, I think, since it's your rules to call.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, thanks for accommodating us in your busy schedule. Let's take a step back though for a second. Obviously, it was a great road trip down there before the bye week in Huntsville, but in all of 2018 to start off the season, 4 wins going into Christmas break. Now you've won 4 of the last 5 games. A big split at Bemidji, splitting at home against Bowling Green, and then sweeping Alabama Huntsville. What's changed here? What's going on with the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts in the net. I mean, that's the biggest part of it, right? So, Anton Martinson was just recently named goaltender of the month. In fact, as recently as this morning,
as it turns out,
it was named goaltender of the month. So, I mean, it starts in the net, and he's been fantastic. After Christmas break, he's been very, very good for us, and he's really found his game. And so it starts with that. I mean, that just changes the whole dynamic of the game in terms of now all of a sudden your penalty kill's that much better. Now all of a sudden guys feel more confidence to be able to try and make some more plays in front of them. So he's been fantastic. And then I also just think that overall we've just been as a group, our transition game, and just us not allowing so much possession for the other team. We've done a good job of eliminating some time and space and breaking pucks out, and then the last piece has been just special teams. Overall power play has really started to come alive and been clicking, and penalty kills found its way too over the last few weekends. So overall I like our game, but now I transition to a rivalry series where anything can happen.
This is a big Governor's Cup series, and too, so that not only is this your first Governor's Cup as head coach, this is a chance for the Nanooks to effectively hold UAA off the board for the full decade of 2010. I mean, it's the last time that UAA won the Governor's Cup being 2009. Your last year as a player was 2008. And so as a player, you never actually get to raise the Governor's Cup.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought that back up. It's such an important part for the community and the program, and it's something that you look forward to as a player, as a coach, as a fan, whatever involvement you have with it. It's one of those series that is something that's really easy as a player and a staff to really get excited for and to get up for, and we want to continue the streak, and but we know how hard Anchorage is going to come out, and I think against their series against Tech, I like the way that they played. They're a very competitive team, hard working, and played Tech right down to the wire there in that shootout win for them. So we got to be ready on Friday and to make sure that we bring our best game.
All these rivalry series, regardless of what the records are, regardless of what the stats or the points, you can almost throw them out the window. Most of the time, these games are always close. They're always hard fought. They're always neck and neck. It's always. I think, if I recall correctly, 11 out of the last 13 have been 1-goal games. Several of which have gone to overtime. So, as you know, with the rivalry series here, it's going to come down to the wire. And what are you expecting to see from them this week that you may not have seen in other games?
Yeah, I mean, I think that for them, it's they're going to definitely have a desperation level. I think it's something where both teams at the beginning of the year you put down as your goal, win the Governor's Cup. I mean, we have a number of them. They had a number of them as well, I'd imagine, and but this is definitely one on for both programs, and so there's going to be a level of desperation and competitiveness that is going to be elevated for that series. And I think the other thing is too for them, it's coming in as a team that hasn't won it over the last few years. There's just maybe a willingness to play a little bit more free and a little bit more loose. And for us, I think it's just making sure that we just play our game, manage our game, and I think the rest will just take care of itself.
When you said your game starts in front of your own net, obviously Anton's been playing really well.
Yeah.
And goaltender of the month, and you stole my thunder so well a few moments ago. But things have changed in front of him a little bit. Chris Jandrick's been out for several games now. Tristan Thompson's really kind of stepped things up.
Yeah.
6 big points for him in 2019 so far, including a 3.9 in Saturday in Huntsville, which got him defenseman of the week honors since we've done the last video too. So also another one there. But defensively, your guys are getting a little more involved. And if that starts because of Martinson's play, is that something that's being coached more along the lines of just being more aggressive on the back check, more aggressive through the neutral zone to kind of interrupt those momentum plays?
Yeah, so we've worked on it quite a bit. It's just our D staying up a little bit more, having better gaps, and then it helps with our transition game and having our forwards continuing to work back even harder for support. And I think the other thing is too, I think our D are just starting to feel more confident with the puck and picking right times to be able to jump into the rush and get involved offensively. And I really like that against Huntsville. I thought we were involved in the offensive attack a lot, and it started from our own defensive end in a lot of cases too. So it's nice to be able to see, and it showed with like we just talked about, like with Tristan's point production and other guys that have been involved with getting scoring chances and involved in rushes and involved in offensive zone play. So I like that part of our game. I think it's gotten better, and I hope it continues to get better down the stretch.
Yeah, and on the offensive side, there's been several guys that also struggled early on. I think Tyler Klein had 1 point in the first half of the season. I think he's had 5 or 6, at least 5 in the second half of the season here too. So he's certainly turned a corner for the better here as well too. Have there been any guys that you've been keeping your eye on the forwards that have really improved?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of guys have really stepped up in the second half. I think, I like where our lines have been at. Like you've seen Justin Young really complimenting Leader and Jandrick, and Hope and Van Teetering and Kleiner finding some chemistry and reigniting that again. And then a couple of the surprises too. I mean, with I think Sam Ruffin really starting to get more confident as a freshman, and you've seen some of that dynamic speed that he has and playmaking ability. And then Max Newton, he just continues to find a way to get on the score sheet and score goals, and he's just been a monster for us in the face-off circle. I mean, the stats have him as one of the top guys in the league. We have him as even better in our own individual stats that we keep. So he's proven to be a valuable piece. He's driving possession for us, and I just like our whole. Colin Doyle stepped up in the second. We have guys that have just really embraced the positions that they're in right now, really playing a hard game, finding ways to chip in offensively. And for us, it's never gonna. We don't want to just be the one line. We need to have multiple lines. We need to have depth up there, and I think guys have really done a nice job at that. And we don't have a one line. It's been a lot of groups that have done a nice job. And I forgot to even mention Chad Staley, who was awesome against Huntsville and in his production there. So I like our forward group. I think it starts defensively with how competitive they've been, and then how hard they've been working for puck support, and it's translated with some good scoring chances and offensive opportunities for them.
Well, I'm obviously not looking at a stat sheet in front of me, but I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, of course, Max Newton on Saturday was 11-2 in the face-off circle down there, and that goal you scored was really pretty, wasn't it?
Oh, it was fantastic, and it was a great play too by Chad there as well, and a nice little lane scissor play down low in the offensive zone, and gives it to Newts, and Newts has a great finish. So he just finds a way. He gets to the front of the net, and he does those little things and understands positioning, and he's just done a really nice job, and it's really came along. It's funny, we were talking about it. He didn't make the trip to Arizona State. Mm-hmm. And then, now all of a sudden he's taken a lot of important face-offs for us and has done a fantastic job.
Yeah, it seems like when you need a face-off and you put that extra centerman out there, it's pretty much seems to be calling number 20 to get it done.
Yeah.
How important are the face-off wins in tight situations like that, especially in the defensive zone when it's down to the wire?
It's funny because you hear about it with analytics saying, well, face-offs don't matter, and as a coach, you just couldn't be farther from the truth. I think when you need a face-off, whether it's offensive zone or defensive zone, and you have a guy that is out of 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 times is going to come up with it. I think that's so important, and Max has done a good job. He studies the opponent, but he's also just a skilled guy at that as well, and a little bit of an art craft for him. So I think it's very important, and it allows it takes some pressure off some other guys that now all of a sudden he's able to drive possession and get some clean face-off wins for us.
So Hockey Week in Fairbanks coming to a conclusion here this week. It's been a big week here for the Nanooks to cap things off. Talk a little bit about the festivities that your players have been involved in this week.
Yeah, so our guys have gotten involved in a lot of things. So Hockey Fest on Saturday afternoon, just before the Ice Dogs game, and helping kids with puck shoots and things like that. And it was a very good time for the kids there on Saturday. And then they've been in the schools doing some reading, the Brady books. They've been doing a lot of readings with those. And then on Sunday they also ref the 3-on-3 tournament outside, which guys had a lot of fun doing. And yesterday evening had the floor hockey match versus the Special Olympics floor hockey team, and the Flames ended up defeating the Nanooks in a tight shootout game. So it was just a lot of fun. It was a great event. Everyone had a good time, and we're going to continue the festivities with some more readings this week, and going out to some different practices and things like that, and it'll conclude on Sunday with the Skate the Lake.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Flames have a bit of a winning streak going on here at the Patty Center too. It's been a close one every year, but they seem to just get it done.
Yeah, they just found a way. Reamer was doing double duties. He had goaltending duties, and then he was he was the anchor in the shootout. He just couldn't find a way to finish it, though.
It happens to the best of us. Yeah, obviously 2 big games coming up here. 6 points for WCHA play, of course. The Governor's Cup on the line. First 2 games, it's kind of interesting too, the way the Governor's Cup dynamic has kind of evolved over the last several years. It's kind of been 2 games early on in the season, 2 games late in the season, and last year was kind of spaced right there around Christmas break, and then now it's 4 games in the span of 4 weeks. It's a pretty big change. And how do you think that affects the dynamic of the series?
Yeah, I think it affects it a lot because you just have such a short turnaround with the next time that we're going to be facing them. And, teams are at different points, early on in the year compared to late in the year. And so we're going to be playing the same team structurally, same team in terms of development-wise and things like that at this point in the season. And so, it's going to be one of those things where, after this weekend, there won't be a lot of adjustments between the 2 teams. It's, a lot of things are pretty much set in stone right now, so it's a little bit of a change in that regard. And, but I think it adds even more excitement to it, too. It's something that's bunched in and close together, and I know our guys have been waiting for it all year. I know their guys, I'm sure, have been waiting for it all year, so it should make it for a really fun series.
And it's a battle of first-year head coaches, too. Matt Curley down at UAA, his first season behind the bench for the Seawolves. Your first year behind the bench as the head guy here for the Nanooks as well, too, so certainly an interesting dynamic there, too. Has there been any friendly conversation between your peer to the south?
Well, we always, we run into each other doing some different recruiting and things like that, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Curley, and I gotten to meet him just before when I was coaching junior hockey and he was coaching college at Bentley University, and we've stayed in touch a little bit. And when he got the job, I was really excited for him, and we've talked quite a bit in the summertime and things like that. But when I see him, I just make sure to tell him good luck all the time, and just not in these 4 games when we play each other.
Yeah, good luck next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now the Nanooks sit in 7th place now at 26 points, 6 ahead of Alabama Huntsville, which is a big series sweep for you guys to get in the standings, especially with a big trip to Bowling Green, and obviously taking Mankato at home here for senior weekend. As the rest of the last 4 series of the season kind of creeps up on us, kind of where are you hoping to be and hoping to see the Nanooks here at the end of the year?
Yeah, I hope we can, win every game, and I hope we can go into that spot. That's the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the biggest thing is just focusing in on our first game and playing against Anchorage and making sure that we're at our best for that. Then we just kind of keep going along and figuring it out. But the goal all along, it's been, getting into the playoffs, wanting to be in that picture for home ice and wanting to win the Governor's Cup. So there's all those things that are still obtainable in a large picture. But the day-to-day things is just getting a little bit better every day and making sure that we're prepared for Friday night.
Well, you heard it, Coach. It's a big series this weekend. That's what their focus is, and that's what they're going to hopefully go out and get 6 points and get a big 2-game series up on the Governor's Cup series against Anchorage. The series finishes off down in Anchorage March 2nd and 3rd. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
2nd and 3rd.
2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, 2nd and 3rd. So a big trip down there here in just a few weeks, as you said, a short turnaround. So we're going to see 4 big games against the Seawolves in not a whole lot of span of time. So it'd be fun to see how this all plays out. So thanks a lot for your time, Coach. We'll see you out there this weekend, and go Nooks.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's first and second. I was like looking at that up there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Except for I screwed it up still.